during the holiday season, you should be aware that your intake is most likely going to increase substantially. So did you know that on average, guests at an office holiday party or like a wedding, they have on average 2 to 5 drinks at the event? So first of all, 5 drinks, you guys, people will be wilding out there. Ladies, let's try to keep it together. Welcome to Simple Weight Loss for Busy Moms, the podcast that cuts through all the social media noise and gives you real strategies to lose weight without fad diets or complicated plans. I'm Amanda Ford, and I teach busy moms how to use calorie tracking, simple nutrition skills, and strength training to finally lose the first 10, 20, or even 30 pounds and keep it off. If you're tired of starting over, overwhelmed by your schedule, or wondering if lasting weight loss is even possible while raising kids, you're in the right place. Each week, you'll get practical tips, tough love motivation, and repeatable routines that fit into your real life so you can feel strong, confident, and in control. This is Simple Weight Loss for Busy Moms. Let's get started. Hey friend, welcome back to the Simple Weight Loss for Busy Moms podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Ford. I'm so happy to have you here. And guess what, you guys? It's November, and that means it's officially party season, the time of year where there's always something going on, right? We just came off of Halloween, probably one of the most epic party nights of the year. But look, it's Thanksgiving's coming around, Hanukkah's coming around, Christmas is on its way. Office parties are going to be filling your calendar, costume parties, from Halloween, holiday open houses, family get-togethers, Thanksgiving, fill in the blank, school parties. And let's be honest, alcohol is very much at the center of all of it. So today we're talking about alcohol and weight loss and how it actually affects your results and how to enjoy the holiday or any season without undoing all your hard work or feeling guilty that you enjoyed a few cocktails throughout the holiday season. So in today's episode, I want you to think about this key takeaway. I want you to understand alcohol from a calorie perspective and how it can fit into your weight loss journey and how it can hinder it. So if you've been listening to me, if you are on a weight loss journey, you're following my strategies, that means you're tracking your calorie intake. One of the things that happens with alcohol and even other beverages is that people don't track their beverages. So when I say beverages, I mean sodas, coffees from Starbucks, kombuchas, teas, alcohols, wines, anything like that. People don't track them because they think, oh, they're not food. They don't need to be tracked. They are chocked full of calories, and that doesn't make them bad or good. It's just something that has to be tracked. So it's important for me to remind you of that. So if you are in the middle of a weight loss journey, maybe you haven't been tracking your beverages, make sure that you start, because it's going to really shift your calorie intake for the day. If you're a heavy soda drinker, maybe a coffee drinker from Starbucks with, all of their sugary syrups and things like that, you do need to account for those calories, just like we would need to account for the calories in an alcoholic drink. So, and then on the other hand, I'm not trying to make a judgment in this episode on anyone's routines or personal relationship with alcohol. I just want to put that out there, but rather really just putting information into your lap to encourage you to make healthier choices when choosing to drink alcohol and how it affects your body. So I do have to say this, because if I were coaching you, and I feel like I say that in every episode, remember, I'm your weight loss coach on the go in your little ears right now. I will be 100% real and honest about what I would say to you if you came to me as a client and you asked me about alcohol consumption, because a lot of people do, because it's a part of their daily routine. And I would absolutely also be asking you about your alcohol consumption at the same time. So if you didn't bring it up, I would bring it up. Not just I don't need to know just from a calorie perspective, although we are going to get into that today. So those of you who are tracking your calories, or you're going to start tracking your calories, because that's what good little boys and girls do when they're serious about their weight loss journey, but because alcohol seeps into literally all the other areas of your life, that it's so important for me to understand your relationship with consuming it, that I can really, if you're a heavy drinker, meaning like and I don't mean this in a judgment way, like if you're having 2+ drinks a night after work, no judgment, but that can negatively affect other areas of your life, like your sleep. We're going to talk about that. Your motivation, your hunger cues are going to be shifted. So that's why it's important to understand your consumption as your, personally, and learn a little bit about how alcohol interplays in your body so you can make the best decisions for you when it comes to your weight loss journey. So this is what I would say to you, though, if you're like, yeah, I'm a frequent drinker, like an after work cocktail type of gal. No problem. That sounds good. I mean, I could go for a margarita or two after work. I don't do that, but I mean, if you want to invite me to happy hour, I will gladly join you. But I would honestly, you guys, I would say that probably needs to stop. If you are super serious about your weight loss, you need to lose like 20 pounds or more. Cutting out alcohol is a really great idea. However, on the other side, I do believe that we can safely include alcohol into our daily calorie budgets for weight loss. But if you drink daily, again, I'm going to keep saying this, no judgment, I would highly recommend that you cut it out of your routine. And here's why. Cutting out alcohols is one of the easiest ways to reduce calories. And cutting out or reducing your alcohol intake has so many other benefits that help with weight loss, like increased energy and mood, increased motivation, less over snacking, better sleep. Those are all things that interplay together for successful weight loss. And alcohol is a key trigger to dampening all of that. And that's why it's not about, oh, I think you're over drinking, you're terrible, like how dare you have wine after work? No, it's because it is so impactful in so many other areas of your life that for me as your weight loss coach, I want to do everything in my power to encourage you to only do positive things to increase your success and your ability to lose the weight. Now, let me give you an example. Your girl here loves champagne, okay? Like I love this stuff. And I've shared this before. I live in the wine country of Northern California. We have the best champagne and sparkling wines ever. But remember, my strategy for you is that you're using a calorie budget and tracking your calories, right? So if you like champagne and you have one glass of champagne, and hold on, I just have to say a little side note. You can't call everything champagne. It has to come from Champagne, France. I'm sorry, I'm a wine snob. Or it has to be Courbel, which is a champagne that's made here in Northern California because their vines came from France. So not every bubbly wine is champagne. You have to call it sparkling wine. So save that little piece of trivia for your holiday party small talks. But anyway, an average glass of champagne, which is a typical pour, is 5 ounces. Remember, the portion is important when you're tracking your calories, right? You have to know what size portion, beverage or meat, for example, if you were measuring your steak serving. So you can calculate the number of calories. Well, champagne has about 90 to 100 calories, maybe a little bit more per 5-ounce glass. I typically have 2 glasses if I'm drinking champagne. So let's err on the side of caution. Let's assume it's 100 calories per glass. That's 200 calories from my food budget right there, right at the top of my holiday celebration. Or, even if that was my nightly after work cocktail, that's 200 calories gone. And I didn't even have any dinner, any snacks, any, charcuterie, if it was a party or anything like that. No food has been had. That is all just calories down the hatch just from a beverage. And that's why calorie tracking is so important. It's not meant to be restrictive. It's meant to open your eyes to how you're overeating or even undereating in some cases. It also can help you see how you can have all the things you love, like champagne, but in moderate amounts. So you stick with your budget. Sticking with your calorie budget equals weight loss results. I'm not preaching perfection. If you can do about 75% of the time, you're going to get results. So it's not strict. It opens up flexibility for enjoying foods and beverages you love while on a weight loss journey. But here's the thing, you guys. So I said, I would probably tell you, we really should consider, if you were my client, I would really like you to consider eliminating the alcohol from your routine maybe just for a few months as we really run towards your weight loss results. And then when you get to your maintenance phase, when you hit your goal, we can consider incorporating it. Or I would also give you the opportunity to kind of think about it. Remember, it's all up to you, drastically reducing your alcohol intake. And that's because I live in reality. I understand that most of you are not going to completely nix out alcohol for good. But here's the thing, during the holiday season, you should be aware that your intake is most likely going to increase substantially. So did you know that on average, guests at an office holiday party or like a wedding, they have on average 2 to 5 drinks at the event? So first of all, 5 drinks, you guys, people will be wilding out there. Ladies, let's try to keep it together. Again, I said I wasn't going to judge anyone. I guess I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, if I had 5 drinks, like some crazy things might happen. Where are all my 5 drink moms at? Can I get a in the comments, hey, maybe I should be partying with you? No. That was me in my past life. I could never go back to 5 drinks. I would be dead on my face in my bed for 7 days. But you guys, for real though, ask yourself, where do you fall on that 2 to 5 drink scale when you're at a party? Again, no judgment. This is so you can assess your routine and shift a bit for this holiday season to stay on track with your weight loss journey. And even if you're thinking about starting a weight loss journey, it's important to kind of think about that right now, because at the time of this recording, it's November. So I know all you moms out there are already thinking about January 1st, 2026. The January 1st phenomenon, the New Year's resolution phenomenon, is like the weight loss coach Super Bowl time, okay? I know it's going to be your year this year, right? Have you said that before? It's going to be my year. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to be my fittest, most healthy self. All those vibes are happening in your mind right now. I can see you looking at the calendar. Yes, first of all, stay in that mindset. Let's go. Keep it close to your heart. Use that motivation. I'm totally here for you. So for those of you who haven't started this journey yet, January 1st is very near. Don't wait till then. Just start right now. Okay. Just start now. January 1st means nothing. It's just another day on the calendar. I want to encourage you to start right now, but let's get focused on where you fall into the number of cocktails at a party. I just gave you the example of champagne above. So with your cocktail count in mind, I want you to do some math. Here are some average calorie counts for some other drinks that you might have a holiday party or even some other large event. And quickly, I should say from a math perspective that alcohol is often called an empty calorie because it actually does give us energy. Remember, energy and calories, we can use that interchangeably. If you need help with nutrition vocabulary, go back and listen to my episode called Nutrition Vocabulary for Weight Loss. It's one of my top episodes. It's super helpful and will help you understand more of my episodes and content as I go on. But alcohol does give about 7 calories per gram. So that is energy, that is calories your body is intaking, but it's energy that is lacking a lot of life-giving substance. So it doesn't come with all the good energy, and I call it good calories, life-supporting calories that fats, carbs, and proteins offer us. It's just this empty form of energy. So for me, I'm if I'm not getting any any life-supporting substance out of this particular beverage, why am I having it? Well, mostly you probably want to feel a little bit tipsy or something, I'm not going to lie. You want to feel that little bit of a release and a little bit of a buzz that you get from alcohol. That's why people drink alcohol. We can't deny that. And I do live in the wine country. I'm sure there's people around here that be like, oh, I love wine so much. It tastes so good. And it's so complex and blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all. No, you want to feel good. You want to let loose. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're doing it so often that you're over drinking, you're blasting your calorie budget with this stuff, well, that's going to keep you stuck from ever losing weight. So are you a beer person? Are you a wine person? Are you a mixed drink person? Maybe you like to have a little bit of everything. Let's talk about the average calories in some of these popular drinks. So wine, an average pour of wine is 5 ounces. And again, there's a vast variety of wines, reds, rosés, whites, and everything in between, champagnes. But for the purposes of this conversation, we're going to say an average glass of wine is about 120 to 130 calories each. A 12-ounce beer is about, so that's like a regular robust beer, 150 to 180 calories for a 12-ounce beer. For a light beer, so like a Bud Light, a Michelob Light, something much lighter, 100 to 110 calories per 12-ounce beer. And then we're getting into the mixed drinks, like the cocktail drinks, so like margaritas, mojitos, pina coladas, all those fun drinks. Those can be anywhere from 150 to 400 calories on average, depending on what's in the cocktail mix, right? So that means some of our festive cocktails could easily add up, if we're having multiple drinks, to 600 to 900 calories, basically way more than a meal's worth. So that's like so insane. And the fact that we're doing that more often during the holiday season is why some people feel stuck or feel like they're gaining weight in the holiday season. Well, there's a lot of reasons why you might be gaining weight in the holiday season. I do have an episode. It's one of my first episodes about managing your weight loss goals over the holiday season. I'll link it below. It's episode number 9, Healthy Holiday Survival Guide. Definitely check that out. I'll link it below. But really quick though, excess drinking, excess eating and snacking, and the types of foods that we're eating are usually calorie dense, really heavy, sugary, and we're having more and we're not moving as much. It's getting colder outside and we're home more, right? There's more days off work. So there's all these things that are happening that are off our routine during the holidays that can make us feel like we're gaining weight. You might be, but really our food and drinking habits change quite substantially in November and December. So just keeping yourself aware of this stuff makes it easier to navigate. If you're going to start a weight loss journey, if you're one that's going to wait till January, or you're like, I'm starting right now, just be aware of it. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be aware. So let's talk about some swaps that you can do to lighten things up without skipping the fun at your holiday parties this year. So for wines, if you're a wine drinker, go for a dry wine. So that's like a Chardonnay's dry. So that's like a white wine or champagne, my favorite, instead of like the really sweet wines. For beer, obviously go for the lighter beer or hard seltzers. You know, I just shared that the lighter beer is quite substantially less in calories than a more robust beer like an IPA or some of the more bold craft brews. And I know like the hard seltzers are super popular now. Those are a great calorie saving option if you'd like to have a cocktail or two. So if you're into like margaritas or mojitos, those can be heavy in calories due to the sugar and the syrups. So for a margarita, where are my margarita girls at? I love me a good margarita. Oh my gosh, they are so delicious. You can try this instead. You can do tequila and soda water and lime, or you can ask the bartender to just use fresh lime juice instead of the syrup. That is really, really tasty. Mojitos, same thing. Ask them to eliminate the syrup and to use fresh mint and lime juice and soda water. And I like whiskey and Cokes. So get whiskey and Diet Coke, or my friend drinks whiskey and Diet Dr. Pepper. I know that sounds crazy, but it's really good. Or also whiskey and Diet Ginger Ale. Oh my gosh, that is delicious. So you're eliminating calories in those cocktails by getting the diet version of the soda that is used to mix the cocktail. And then all my girls, you know, I know you guys all like vodka cranberries. It's like such a girly drink. If any of you out there watch How I Met Your Mother, there's a whole joke about how every girl likes vodka cranberries. I'm a How I Met Your Mother aficionado, I'd say. Like we watch it all the time. It's such a funny show. But if you like a vodka cranberry, again, go for a vodka and soda and ask for a splash of cranberry instead of having the whole drink mixed with the sugary cranberry juice. This is actually one of my favorite drinks. I get a squeeze of lime on top. It's really, really tasty. It's light. It pretty much tastes the same as the original version of the drink. And you're really reducing your calorie intake by getting less juice there. So I want to know, what is your go-to drink and how are you going to get creative and make a healthy swap to reduce your intake and overall calories this year? Put them in the YouTube comments below. One of my core pillars for weight loss coaching is encouraging all of you beautiful moms out there to get creative and flexible. So we just talked about some ways to get creative and flexible and swapping out drinks for, I'm using air quotes, healthier versions. I'm sure someone could argue that alcoholic drink is in no way, shape, or form healthy, but I think you guys understand what I'm getting at. You don't have to completely jump ship from enjoying things you love, but in reality, if you're serious about losing weight, I have to say you do have to make some shifts. But if you are creative and flexible with your eating and drinking habits, like taking action on the drinking swaps I just shared, you can really get incredible results with feeling like you are not sacrificing enjoyable foods, beverages, or even the moment. Okay. Getting creative and flexible takes the pressure off. The strict feeling that can come with a diet plan, all that goes away. And I feel like it adds some fun and control into your hands. So keep the idea of being creative and flexible really close to your heart when you start your weight loss journeys and as you participate in them. Ask yourself on the regular, how can I get creative and flexible with what I eat and drink so I'm actually achieving my weight loss goals? So it doesn't mean you have to give up the thing, right? It doesn't mean you have to give up the alcohol or the cocktails during the holiday season, but how can I get creative and flexible so my choices are navigating me, pushing me towards my goal while also still enjoying the things that I love? And you guys, it takes practice. You're not going to be perfect at it at first. I'm still not perfect at it. I still am practicing. It's a lifelong practice. I know it's cliche. Everyone's like, it's a lifestyle. It's not a one-time thing. Well, the thing about cliches is that a lot of times they're true. So just keep that in mind. All right, switching gears a little bit. I was doing some research for this episode and I ran across something really interesting and I just want to share it. I don't want to call it a fact because I need to dig much deeper into this and learn more. But what I should say is I read that alcohol doesn't just add calories, it also slows down fat burning. That's a hard no. Like if this is true, like I'm completely getting rid of alcohol forever. Like if you're my client, I'd be like, you cannot drink. But like I said, I do need to learn more about this. But when you drink, essentially what the research I read this on multiple websites, reputable websites, I would say. But again, I do feel like this needs a little more of my time to preach this as gospel, but just something to think about. So what the research was reading, like it basically was saying your body pauses burning fat so it can process the alcohol first. Again, I'm saying this really lightly. I need to learn a lot more about this particular metabolic process to make sure it makes sense. I haven't ever heard this in the past. I've never read it in any of my physiology classes and my nutrition. I've never, ever heard this, but that doesn't mean science can't discover new things. Science is always evolving. That's why nutrition is so interesting. But there is information out there that is showing this, like all over the place, that the body is prioritizing processing the alcohol over your fat when you're drinking. So I don't know. I just wanted to say that I learned it, that I read it. If you know about this, if this is true, like I want to interview you. I want to pick your brain. Like if you know more about this, please get in the YouTube comments, you guys. Put information there. I want to learn about it. But to my understanding, your metabolism is just always working. I don't think your body is just going to stop your energy uptake and utilization or storage just because you are having some cocktails. And that's basically what I'm getting from that. It's like, oh no, the fat burning just pauses during your cocktail hour. Like, how is that even possible? But it's an interesting concept to consider. But what I do know for sure is that alcohol is extremely taxing on your body's metabolic process. Like it's a toxin, period, end of story. Your body has to work really hard to process it. So I think that is more important, a key takeaway to think about, And with that at top of mind, I want you all to be putting goodness, light, health into your bodies, not toxins. As your weight loss coach in your ears right now, I want you to be taking in foods and drinks that give energy, that give efficiency, and give the fuel to your body, not take it away. So digging into that more, alcohol lowers your inhibition. So that means our guard is down. We can end up doing and saying things that are quite unsavory. I'm sure we've all had our embarrassing moments now and then. But in the context of a weight loss journey, what this means is that your food choice inhibitions are gone. Your hunger increases and your rational mind isn't really there to go, hey, you're on a weight loss journey. Maybe only have a few portions of that instead of like the whole bag of Lay's potato chips because you had too much to drink and now you're snacking like crazy. And we really do, speaking of Lay's, I love Lay's potato chips. That's why I say them. They're so good. We really do tend to make poor food choices and overeat during our instances of drinking alcohol. It's 100% the case. So what happens is that you're over drinking. So you're increasing your calorie intake just in beverages, and then you're overeating and over snacking. And when I say overeating, over drinking, I'm considering one's calorie budget for the day. It doesn't mean that you're like an obsessive overeater or something, or an obsessive overdrinker. We're just thinking about blowing your calorie budget out of the water and hindering you from weight loss when I say things like that. So you just have to keep your calorie budget at top of mind. Sometimes we go over, and that's totally okay. But during the holiday season, during party season, or even going to a large event, any time of year, and you're really serious about your weight loss, it's just something to just really hold on to. So look, once in a while, you guys, yes, let loose. Enjoy the cake. Eat all the nachos. Eat all the Sour Patch Kids. I just said all the things that I like to have. A few nights ago was Halloween, right? And my friend and I just have to say, on this same talk, my friend and I, we were having a couple margaritas and we were laughing so hard because we were talking about what we used to eat after 2 a.m. And that means the bars were closed and then we were hungry. We were like starving. And we both said and laughed out loud that we would go to Jack in a Box and eat the tacos, and how there was a line at the Jack in a Box drive-thru and everyone was ordering tacos. And they are so disgusting and so delicious at the same time. But that's an example. You're like, yeah, I'll eat the Jack in a Box tacos. I'm going to get like 5 of them and I'm going to eat them. And I had been drinking all night. So listen, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm sure there's somebody out there else who can relate to that story. But it's just a fun example. That was me in my very early days. I have not binge drinking at the bar till 2 a.m. and then eating Jack in a Box anymore. But I digress. Essentially, though, again, the message is that you are drinking and your I don't care attitude pops up into play, and you can easily compromise your weight loss goals and results if you're doing this too often. Okay, switching gears from eating and calorie budgeting for a second, let's talk about how alcohol intake negatively affects your sleep. Earlier in the episode, I shared that if you're a regular drinker, you may or may not know it, but you are most likely getting poor sleep. Go look it up, read all about it. You don't have to believe me. In fact, I hope you fact check me all the time. Don't believe everything you hear on podcast. I mean, I do my very darndest to make sure I'm sharing truthful and factual information, but this is real. It's all over. It's published everywhere. I can tell you also from personal experience that if I have just one drink nowadays, I'm waking up frequently throughout the night and my sleep is awful every single time. And it's one of the things that's really driven me to reduce my alcohol intake almost down to nothing. So my husband and I used to enjoy wine almost every night, and we do not do that anymore. I'm so thankful for a lot of reasons that has been helpful, but really I only drink, if it's a holiday, really in the holidays is when I drink. And that's kind of why I am making this episode. But even the after work cocktail, the one, it can really mess with your sleep cycle. So when we're trying to lose weight, working to optimize our sleep is one of those behind the scene golden nuggets that really drives successful weight loss. So if there is anything in your life that is messing with your sleep, so if you and I were talking about this, like on our one-to-one coaching, like we are right now, remember, I'm in your ears right now coaching you, I would be like, girl, if there's anything messing with your sleep, we kind of need to handle that before we even deep dive into locking in a tight calorie budget, because poor sleep will just completely throw everything in your life off. So for me, it's really important that that having regular drinks is compromising optimal sleep. You want to have good sleep all the time, right? For our immunity, for our hormone balance, just for general rest and recovery. But especially if you're on a weight loss journey with me, you're going to be lifting weights. You need a sleep is when our muscles really kick in and recover. Also, you want your hormone levels to be balanced, especially all the time, obviously, you guys. But on a weight loss journey, I want to make sure all that's working top gear. And if alcohol is in the way, we're going to have some challenges. So if there's anything in your life messing with your sleep, like alcohol, you got to nip it in the bud right away. So alcohol is one of those things, you guys. Okay, you guys, I started the episode out by saying, it's party season, let's go. Well, you guys probably have never heard me sing song before. So there you go. That happens sometimes. But let's get creative and flexible. Like I talked about how you can fit in a cocktail or two or three into your holiday party schedule and really into any circumstance, of course, when you may be aware that you could have increased alcohol intake, like at a wedding or your next office party or your Thanksgiving dinner tradition with your family. So this particular strategy is so important in so many areas. You can use it not just for alcohol, but for your entire weight loss journey. And that's planning ahead. So looking at your calendar and seeing what's going on this week. Do I have meetings at work that are going to require me to eat a little bit differently? Am I going to a restaurant? Look ahead at the menu. What can you have? So in the spirit of this episode, looking ahead and seeing, okay, I have 2 holiday parties this week, which sounds like really fun. Like that's really great, by the way. What a blessing to spend time with all those people. What you can really do is say, okay, I'm serious about my weight loss journey. I want to enjoy cocktail hour, but set yourself some limits. I'm going to have 2 drinks. I'm going to have 2 of the cocktail swaps instead of what my usual drinks, right? I'm going to try something a little bit different, a little bit lighter on calories so I can still enjoy the cocktail and try my very best to stick to my calorie budget. So planning ahead, making decisions ahead of time, setting limits, asking the bartender for recommendations. That's really, they know everything. They are the masters of the cocktail hour. They can make you something lighter. I mean, really the lightest thing that you can have is like a vodka soda or something like that without any additives, any sodas, any mixers or anything like that. But I get that people don't really like that. So just plan ahead, set yourself some limits and decide how much you're going to having and what you're going to having before you get there. And you're probably going to feel really good about sticking to that plan once you come out of the other side of that event. The other thing is, and I kind of alluded to this earlier in the episode, is that you need to be honest about the calories that you took in during that event when you're tracking your calories. Now, it's kind of hard because you're not perfectly portioning out the pours at the bar. You're not perfectly portioning out all your appetizer plates that you make from the charcuterie board. You don't know how much meal you had, when you maybe at a catered event. In these moments, you just want to do your best. And I highly recommend that a lot of people skip entering these events and their food and their beverage intake for events. They just skip it. They're like, nope, it's just a washout day. I'm not even going to count it. That's okay. But I do recommend that you do track it because it'll give you information for the next time. You can be like, wow, I had 4 beers. That added up to 600 calories. That's quite a bit. And then you do your best to, account for what you think the portion sizes were from the appetizers, the desserts, and the entrees that you had. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it really is going to show you like, wow, this one event, and this is highly likely, you ate more than your calorie budget had set for you in that one setting. So again, it's not a big deal. It's just information that is so vital for you to understand and be able to use as you continue through your weight loss journey. Because a weight loss journey, depending on the amount of weight that you need to lose, if you have 10 pounds to lose, give yourself at least at least 12 weeks to do that. And that's if you're like hitting your mark all the time. So you're going to be at this for a while, and then you're going to be at your maintenance phase once you get to your goal weight. And so you need to be able to maneuver and manage these events so you can maintain that weight loss. So tracking your calories and getting used to that, again, it's not restrictive. It's giving you insight into how to move on and how to manage your food and beverage intake as you move on through life and your weight loss maintenance. When you finally, and I know you're going to get there, girl, hit your weight loss goals. Okay, this strategy is tried and true, and that's having a glass of water in between all your cocktails. So I'd say have 8 to 12 ounces of water in between each cocktail. So what does that do? It keeps you hydrated, first of all. Number 2, it slows down your alcohol intake. So you're going to have less alcohol. So you had a margarita, now you have a glass of water in your hand and you're sipping that. And you probably, if you didn't do that, you'd have another margarita in your hand and then another margarita in your hand. So it's really going to break up the amount of alcohol you have and also slow the drip of alcohol that you're giving yourself during the party to hopefully keep your wits about you. But it's a really good idea, and also will help with potentially reducing any terrible hangover symptoms. Ugh, they are the worst. Oh my gosh. Finally, use some of the drink swaps that I offered earlier in the episode. Just get creative. I want to know, what are you guys thinking about? How are you going to handle your alcohol over the holiday season? What is your relationship with alcohol when it comes to weight loss? I want to know. Get in the YouTube comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the Simple Weight Loss for Busy Moms YouTube channel. I thank you so much for listening and watching over there. If you're over on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon, thank you for listening on those platforms. Please be sure to leave me a 5-star review over on Apple's. That really helps other women find the Simple Weight Loss for Busy Moms podcast. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with your best friend, your best mom friend, your best girlfriend, your coworkers. It really helps me out to spread the word and to help other women find their healthiest, dreamiest weight loss goals. All right, mamas, this is officially holiday season. Go have fun. I'm wearing my Christmas pajamas. I wish you guys could see me, but my advice to you is just go into the holiday drinking season, we'll call it, just because this episode is all about alcohol. Just go in with a plan. A few mindful choices make a huge difference when it comes to your energy and your weight loss goals, your alcohol intake, and your overall results. So, what's your plan going to be? If you need help, get in the YouTube comments. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. If you want to send me an email, you can at hello@thehealthhobby.com. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.